dugsiga boardingka iyo maalinlaha ah ee Amano Boarding and Day School.
Mano, and welcome to our grammar lesson for this week. This is Teacher Moses, your grammar teacher, and today we are going to learn about auxiliary verbs. We use auxiliary verbs almost all the time, so we need to know what exactly are auxiliary verbs and how to use them and when to use the auxiliary verbs. Now, I think we'll just go back to the lesson. The objective, helping verbs. That means, you see this guy, he's helping, you know. First, we need to know that auxiliary verbs are also referred to as helping verbs. That is another name, helping verbs. There are some pictures here. Learn auxiliary verb. Boys are playing. Boys are playing. So R is underlined. The objective, by the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to define auxiliary verbs and give examples in sentences. So you should be able to give examples in sentences. Definition. Now, an auxiliary verb, which is also referred to as helping verb, is used with the main verb to express the following. This is very important. So the auxiliary verb is used together or to help. It is used together with the main verb to help express the following. This is the main thing in this topic, in this lesson. Tense. So it is the helping verb or the auxiliary verbs which expresses tense in a sentence, mood and voice. We are going to learn now how auxiliary verbs are used to express tense, mood and voice. But before that, we need to learn the different types of helping verbs or auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verb, you can see, is used to help the main verb. This guy is helping the other one to climb the wall. Now, some of these pictures, you'll find them, you'll have time to check them as you watch the video or in the notes that will be posted on your account. So you will just check that. Examples. Now, the main auxiliary verbs are to be, to have, and to do. Okay? To be, to have, and to do. They appear in the following forms. So this is how they appear. To be, am, is, are, was, were, being, been, will be. Those are the to be auxiliary verbs. Then to have, we have has, have, had, having, will have. If you can check that, you can see there is singular, plural, past, participle or with ing continuous, then future. We have to do. These verbs, they are to do auxiliary verbs: does, do, did, will do. Singular, plural, past, future. Now, I am walking. Note, the auxiliary verb am will come only with I. So, note that. Now, examples of auxiliary verbs that express tense. The ones that express tense. We have seen that auxiliary verbs, they express tense, mood, and voice. And remember voice, we did voice before. It could be passive voice or active voice. So it is the helping verbs, the auxiliary verbs, which express the voice. Now, here are some examples of auxiliary verbs expressing tense. Look at these sentences. She was waiting for an hour. Now, in each of these examples, in each of those examples above, these ones, she was waiting for an hour, she is waiting in the hall, she will be waiting outside. In all these examples, the verb to be helps to express progressive tense. Progressive means continuous tense, an action that is progressive, continuing, which is the tense used for ongoing actions. Okay, very good. So the verbs, the auxiliary verb to be is used to show progressive tense, these ones. Now, she had drunk it before we arrived. She has drunk it already. She will have drunk it by then. Now, in each of these sentences, the auxiliary verb to have helps to form the perfect tense, which is the tense used for expressing an action's completion. Yes, it is used to express an action's completion. So this is the perfect tense. So these ones here. And then lastly, she had been studying before the incident. She has been studying. She will have been studying for a month at that point. So in each of these examples, the auxiliary verb have and been help to form the perfect progressive tense, in which tense used, which is the tense used for expressing an ongoing action's completion. So these are the verbs: has, had, has, and have, and have. Yes, this one was have, not will. Good. Now let us see the auxiliary verbs that express voice. Remember, we have two types of voices: passive voice and active voice. So here are some examples of auxiliary verbs expressing voice. Look at this. Our dessert was eaten by the dog. The geese are driven through the thicket. The phone will be disconnected tomorrow. In these examples, the auxiliary verb to be helps to form the passive voice. All these sentences are in passive voice because the subject does not perform the action of the verb but has the action done to it. So we have done passive voice before, so you understand. You don't begin passive voice with the subject, you begin with the object. So those are the verbs to be. The verbs, the auxiliary verbs to be, are used to express passive voice. Now, next auxiliary verb that we're going to learn is the ones that express mood. For example, look at this. Did you win? Here, the auxiliary verb that is used is the verb to do, and it is used to express interrogative mood. Interrogative mood, asking questions, you know, interrogative mood. Did you win? Did you see him knock the door? Did you see him jump the wall? Did you talk to him when you met? You see, those interrogative questions asked by detectives. The mood is interrogative, means asking questions. Don't forget your wallet. Now, this one is a negative form of do. Don't forget your wallet. And the mood here is like an order. An order, yes, an order. So this is not a request. The mood is an order. Don't forget your wallet. So the mood that is given is an order. So it is used to form the imperative mood, or to give an order. Other auxiliary verbs. Now this is the what we are going to learn next in the next lesson, because we have other auxiliary verbs which are very important, and they are called modal verbs. There is another kind of auxiliary verb called modal auxiliary or modal verb. The modal auxiliary verbs examples are can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, and would. The modal auxiliary verbs never change their forms. So this is another topic, another lesson for another day. But at least I will show you a few examples of the modal verbs before we end the lesson. Look at that picture. Should I or shouldn't I? That is a modal verb. Should. We are going to learn about it next week. Now, please find the assignment attached to the homework page, attempt all the questions, and make sure that you submit in good time. And please, I would like to remind my students in Form 1 that there is an exam next week. There is an exam. Remember, next week is exam week, and please make sure that you revise what we have done here, because you need to pass this exam, because your marks, your scores are going to be recorded, and they are very important, and it's important that you all attempt all the questions. So please keep revising. Thank you so much. Goodbye until next time.